Welcome back to VRChat News on the channel, and today we will be covering the update from yesterday, talking about what's happening in the world of VRChat. And today we'll be taking a look at the developer blog from August 8, 2024. That was yesterday. So let's go over what's going on with VRChat. For those of you who are in the know about certain people in VRChat, there was a memoriam posted for Gold here who was a member of the VRChat team. Unfortunately, that person passed away recently due to natural causes. And if you guys want to read on Gold and what he brought to the VRChat community, go ahead and read the blog post in the developer blog, which is right here on the page here. I will link you to that in the description below as well. Now let's go on to the news for today in terms of VRChat, and the first one is iOS beta. So a lot of people have been looking toward iOS beta, including my buddy Bryce, who on my channel plays Fortnite with us, and he's interested. And here's what they say: very soon, TM will be inviting a small group of users to test the iOS in a closed beta. Thank you to everybody who signed up for the test. The interest was overwhelming. If you have signed up, keep an eye on email for an invitation to the closed beta via test flight. We'll be starting with a small group initially and plan to increase the number of testers over time. This is a technical beta focused on stability and bug fixing. Compared to the current Android version, some features may be missing or broken. Also, client updates to the iOS builds may lag behind other platforms for a bit. Since testing spots are limited, we may consider rotating users out that aren't actively using the app or providing feedback. We're counting on testers to provide feedback actively via our iOS closed beta canny. We will publicize the link when ready. So a lot of people who saw my other videos about the iOS beta were getting ready to take a look at it. Keep in mind there are some notes about the iOS beta, and let's take a look at those notes. Similar to the underlying technical differences with how PC and Android content are handled, we have a tough challenge for iOS. There are millions of avatars in the world, and we're looking on creative ways to avoid the cold start problem for iOS. These solutions will continue to evolve over time, but here's what we have ready for the iOS closed beta. All users can now upload iOS content through using the VRC SDK, the development kit. This is true even if you're not in the iOS closed beta. So if you're a world developer or an avatar developer who uses the VRC SDK and you're not in the iOS closed beta, you can still develop for iOS. Even if you're not part of the beta. Okay, we've hand converted a number of popularly used public avatars from Android to iOS. This is nowhere near complete, but at minimum, it's to reduce the number of gray robots seen on iOS. We're experimenting with a fallback system for worlds on iOS. If a world has an iOS variant uploaded by the owner, we'll load that one for iOS devices in the same way that PC and Android variants work respectively. If there is no iOS variant available, but there is an Android variant, we'll attempt to load it on iOS. Without getting into the weeds of things, we do some quote unquote best fit shader replacement, so expect the following outcomes. For roads that stick to quote typical mobile shaders, conversion is reliable and looks pretty good. You may not even notice that the word wasn't published for iOS. For worlds that use more complex or custom elements, we'll try to fall back, but may see some malformed textures, odd lighting, or in the worst case, pink shaders. So for like anything that uses like complex stuff, like the advanced features of Unity, for example, you might see some pink fader. Sometimes content is so unique that we can even load into the iOS app will crash. Crashing in a closed beta is a good thing though. It will help us make these systems more resilient. Please report crashes on the Canny. We're still evaluating if a similar fallback system makes sense for avatars. More info to come as the closed beta progresses. So here, so if a world has like complex materials and stuff like that, it's gonna look pink. Okay, it's like when you're developing your world and you see pink textures, that's what's gonna come out. Now keep in mind, I'm gonna talk about me developing for iOS in a moment, but I will talk about that later in a moment. So stay tuned for that. If you're a creator and your worlds don't look great with the fallback system, we highly encourage you to use the SSDK to convert it to iOS natively. Don't worry, you don't need a Mac. To do this, you can create and publish iOS content from a Windows PC using our SDK. All right, and they have a video on how to upload VRChat avatars and worlds to iOS and Android. If you are interested, link will be in the description. Link to the article will be in the description, and the video is part of it. Now here's another big story that has caught up in recently that I would like to go over. A security update. So there's been a lot of talk about avatar ripping. Last year I talked about a website that actually ripped avatars. So if you want to check that out, make sure you guys do so. But basically speaking of, one of the avatars looked like Shadina from Taveri Centerpiece. I'm not sure if it's the exact one, but I remember that it looks so similar to Shadina, like Shadina from Taveri Centerpiece. I'm like, ooh, this is something very big, and I was right. It is big because recently, um, avatars were being removed. So here is what they say about that. In order to continue making ripping more difficult, we'll soon be enforcing stricter rules in local test instances. This includes using the build and test button in the SDK as well as using the VRC quick launcher. In such instances, you will only be able to use avatars if you uploaded yourself or are you from the public avatar row. The menu will let you know a warning message if an avatar is not supported in a local test instance. We continue to be committed into improving protection against unauthorized access of content. These changes will roll out in the coming weeks and will allow us to stack another layer of protection onto the content on the platform. In our continuing efforts to address avatar asset ripping, we have issued a further set of bans targeting accounts verified using tools to rip avatars from other accounts. Now, they define ripping. Ripping, quote unquote, is a term for downloading an asset from VRChat that does not belong to you using tools prohibited by our rules. This includes extracting and converting avatars or worlds gathered from your game cache, memory, or our API. So basically saying if if you are downloading something that does not belong to you, yeah, that's not right. But it has to be using the tools prohibited. Okay, so you cannot basically download nilly willy, is what it's saying here. The next part says the the ban wave consists of approximately 2,400 accounts. These bans are being issued to accounts that were validated and verified to have engaged in ripping using unauthorized third-party tools. client mods, or other methods. Bans have also been issued to accounts associated with those accounts, and it is very common for rippers to use an alt account to avoid bans on their primary account. That's true. And this is also true for other things. It's not just ripping avatars. It's also for YouTube. They will make out accounts just to get away from to avoid bans. So so it's not just in VRChat avatar ripping. It's everywhere. As always, our teams will continue to work behind the scenes to protect both VRChat users and their content. A quick note on the SDK roadmap. They haven't forgotten, but you can expect that in the next update, not this one. We wanted to give a general heads up, however, just in case you thought we forgot. So basically, we went over the roadmap for SDK. One of them being a feature called Udon 2, as well as persistence. Just a little heads up. What is persistence? Basically, it allows you to have a system where you can save data in VRChat. For example, this is a good tool if you're trying to make like a RPG game inside of VRChat. You can theoretically do that. There have been people who does that, like Quest, like other games like Magic Arena, which we will play next Thursday. You can do persistence, meaning if right now if you currently play in VRChat, you cannot save anything. Like you cannot save your items, inventory, or if you play something like a TTRPG in VRChat, you cannot save your character. But with persistence, you can. So that's a little heads up on that. Here is what's going ongoing development is on this undergoing development section. Favorite friends is now on the website. Yep, look here. They have a favorite friends tab now. But this is very straightforward. Now, this one is very interesting. Invite offline users is on the way. Have you ever wanted to invite a friend who's offline or active on the VRChat website? Well, we got some good news. You'll be able to invite offline friends who, quote, receive posting notifications through the mobile app, two, are active on the mobile app, or three, active on the website, like hello.vrchat.com on your account. And the way you do that is you do it the same way you would normally do it in VRChat. Those who want to send offline. Okay, but I have some rules on this. I have rules. I'm going to explain that in a moment. So they have a bring status icon as well. Keep in mind that they have to be receiving push notifications. If not, it won't work. Let's see here. So basically, green circle and gray. Okay, empty circle gray. Okay, and there's be some bonuses for this feature. All right, camera updates. There's new camera features now. Landscape and portrait mode. Show focus now. If you are from Ukraine, you can now have language support. And that's it. That is the update for today. The next update will be scheduled for August 22nd. Now, I want to go over back to the offline thing. Okay? Because it has something to do with what I do. Okay, if you see me on the website for VRChat, I have rules. Do not send me an invite when I'm on the website. The reason why I'm on that website is primarily to look at worlds for VRChat that I want to do for VRChat World Tour Season 2. Now you may be wondering why I'm not going to be allowing that. The new thing here. Because I don't want you guys bothering me when I'm doing content. That's why. When I'm trying to make content, I am looking for certain things in the website. Okay, so what I think is going to happen, this is just my theory. This is just my thinking. When I log into the VRChat website, what I'm thinking is going to happen is on the top left corner, there's going to be the envelope icon, right? So VR icon, and there's going to be an invite from somebody. Please note, I will not accept invites offline. Okay, unless it's necessary. Okay, unless it's necessary. Unless other than that, the reason why I'm on the website is most likely looking at worlds that will be featured in like um our series, the world tours that I want to look at. That's why I'm on the website most of the time. Okay, or looking at my world just in case I want to update the thing. All right, so I will not accept any invites offline from the website. Okay, but what I do know what could happen is if you accept one, it's going to launch an instance of VRChat for you as if you are in the application. Okay, like in your application, you have the accept invite. If you in if you accept invite from the website, it's going to give you an instance of VRChat with that inviter. That's what I think is going to happen. Okay, and that is your VRChat news for today. The next time we're going to be doing this is August 22nd, 2024, for our podcast here. If you have any questions about the news or have any questions about what I think about like the update for the security and the iOS thing, leave them below. I'll try my best to answer as much as I can. Until then, as always, may your dice rolls be critical, and is it Thursday yet? We'll see you guys Monday for our next live stream. We have more videos coming up today, including a Moonlight Village remake update I want to get to, and some other stuff. So we'll see you guys very soon. Enjoy, and as always, is it Thursday yet?